Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable members, I am of the firm belief that the proposed 2021 budget is clearly indicative of our fair, sincere, and frank assessment of the amount the state can generate on its own, in addition what it's projected to receive from the Federation account and other sources. Given the indices earlier espoused herein, this draft budget is higher than that of 2020 based on credible and realistic assumptions on the available state revenue cash flow. The Honorable House is aware, and I have mentioned it briefly above, of a number of initiatives designed to enhance resilience and help government cushion the effect of COVID-19. One of such is a restructured state fiscal transparency, accountability, and sustainability program, which saw the introduction of new disbursement-linked indicators, that is DLIs. Worthy of mention are key budget-related DLIs, which we won in 2019 SIFTA's assessment for preparing and implementing a realistic budget on one hand, and for amending the 2020 budget in line with COVID-19 realities on the other hand. These attracted grants of $1 million and $5 million respectively for us. In the 2019 SIFTA's assessment, Kogi State, which came second after Kaduna in 2018, sought to first place. I must, on this note, strongly commend our fiscal team, our financial team, led by the Honorable Commissioner of Budget, Finance and Economic Planning, Mukaddam Asiowaju Idris, FCA, for their hard work and excellence. Apart from making our mark on the national scene and winning keenly contested financial prize, we have also developed the Kogi State COVID-19 Action Recovery and Economic Stimulus, also known as CARES program, to support our home economy through these trying times. This program was conceived to ameliorate the impact of COVID-19 on the vulnerable citizens and businesses in our society. In our estimation, the CARES program will provide some buffer for the state in 2021 by helping to halt the slides in revenue. In addition, the expected $20 million under the SIFTA's program, the state is also expecting the sum of $20 million from the CARES program based grant over the next 18 to 24 months. As performance-based grant, we must demonstrate seriousness and commitment to best practices to be able to access this grant. The CARES program will be largely implemented through the existing World Bank projects in the state. It will support the 3 result areas of micro projects and vulnerable members of the society under Result Area 1, Rural Agriculture under Area 2, and Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprise, that's MSME, under Result Area 3. Budget Policy Statement. The fiscal strategy of government is anchored on the ongoing Public Finance Management Reform, PFM. Over the period 2021 to 2023, the state government fiscal policy is directed at A. improving the efficiency and effectiveness of spending, achieving better balance between the capital and recurrent expenditure, achieving greater control of the wage bill, directing capital expenditure on critical infrastructures such as agriculture, health, roads, education, security, water, youth and women engagement, etc. Boosting revenue receipts by identifying and blocking revenue leakages, and gradual fiscal consolidation in order to achieve a level of public spending consistent with macroeconomic stability and sustainable debt. Budget objectives and targets. The specific fiscal objective of Kogi State is effective allocation of scarce resources to identify critical programs and projects with the following major targets. A, to improve the quality and affordability of education available to citizens at all levels in order to produce the articulate and skilled manpower required for economic transformation of the state. To improve quality and access to healthcare, leading to improvement in efficiency of the healthcare delivery system. To ensure food security and generate a high proportion of the GDP from agriculture. To exploit the full commercial potentials of our location and endowment as a state, and expand trade to ensure that products from agricultural and industrial activities have access to markets locally and abroad. To ensure gainful employment of our teeming youths, create entrepreneurship opportunities, especially in agriculture and infotech, and develop their talent for livelihood. To achieve sustainable development and promote socio-economic development through culture and tourism. To establish necessary frameworks for a robust mining and solid minerals sector with an aim to branding Kogi State as the foremost mining and mineral exploration and exploitation destination in the country. To improve the road networks in the state through continued construction of new roads and bridges and rehabilitation of existing ones in both urban and rural areas. In view of climate change, to continually improve on environmentally friendly practices and enhance our disaster management capabilities in order to secure our people better. To improve the quantity, quality, and access to safe water for domestic, commercial, and industrial uses, as well as improve sanitation and hygiene practices among the citizens. To ensure sustainable use of the environment and continuous management of environmental challenges, such as pollution, degradation, and gully erosion. To ensure easy and equitable access to lands for agriculture, residential, commercial, and industrial uses to all citizens and investors to facilitate the social and economic development of the state. To improve the quantity of decent housing available to citizens and expand affordable housing options through the use of public-private partnership arrangements. To improve and facilitate the creation of viable urban communities in the state. To reduce average power outage by expanding the generation and distribution of electricity across the state through regular and renewable options. to rejuvenate the transportation sector and all its players to facilitate internally generated revenue, to improve an enabling environment to facilitate economic and social development in the state, as well as introduce and implement reform measures to strengthen governance institutions, that is, the civil service, pension, administration, etc. To increase security of lives and properties in the state, to continue to expand the state revenue base in the area of internally generated revenue, and to reduce the level of domestic debt profile of the state. Summary of the 2021 draft revenue and expenditure estimates. Revenue leg of the draft budget. In summary, the draft revenue budget has an estimated outlay of 130 billion 546,063,026 naira. This total budget outlay of 130.54 billion is divided into recurrent revenue of 82.46 billion, representing 63.17%, and capital receipts of 48.08 billion, representing 36.83%. Expenditure leg of the draft budget. In summary, also, the draft expenditure budget has an estimated outlay of 130 billion 546,068,026 naira. This total budget outlay of 130.54 billion is divided into recurrent expenditure of 74.04 billion, representing 56.72%, and capital expenditure of 56.49 billion, representing 43.28%. The above summaries are presented in the tables and graphics below. You have the revenue items, allocation, and the percentages. From the revenue aspect of it, from the revenue item, we have recurrent revenue, which has an allocation of 82.46 billion, representing 63.17%. The capital revenue of 48.08 billion, representing 36.83%, making a total of 130.54 billion, 100%. Expenditure item has an recurrent expenditure has an allocation of 74.04 billion, representing 56.72%. Capital expenditure of 43.28% has an allocation of 54.49 billion, making 100% of 130.54 billion. This particular presentation has been codified in sectorial form. We have administration as code 1, having an allocation of 43.45 billion, representing 33.28%. Economic occupies code 2 with allocation of 35.20 billion, representing 26.97%. We have law and justice as code 3, representing 5.91 billion, representing 4.53%, while the social occupies Code 5 with allocation of 45.97 billion, 35.22%. This makes a total of 130.54 billion, 100%. This is equally represented in the diagram of both revenue and expenditure in sector forms as stated in the diagram. You can see it there. The 2021 total budget package. The total budget package for the year 2021 is 130.54 billion as against 122.97 billion of the amended budget for the year 2020. This represents an increase of 7.57 billion or 6.16% when compared with the year 2020 final budget. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I now present to you the highlights of the year 2021 Kogi State draft budget for the consideration of the House and approval. The Honorable House is invited to note that A total estimated recurrent revenue of 82.46 billion consisting of 20.97 billion from internal sources, 54.42 billion as statutory allocation from Federation account, 13.5 billion from value-added tax, that is VAT, 120 million from excess crude, 35.4 million from budget augmentation, 1 billion from exchange differentials, 130.8 million as refund from federal government, 500 million from non-air revenue, 150 million from forex equalization, and 120.69 million as excess bank charges and solid minerals occupying 500 million. That the recurrent revenue for the year 2020 stands at 82.46 billion, while the estimated personnel costs, overhead costs, and public debt charges for the same period stands at 43.84 billion, 23.19 billion, and 2 billion respectively, putting the total recurrent expenditure for year 2021 at 74.04 billion. Based on the above, we have a total estimated transfer surplus of 8.4 billion as part of Capital Development Fund. That the estimated capital received is 48.08 billion comprising internal and external loans, aids and grants. However, if the transfer surplus of 8.4 billion is added to this amount, we shall have 56.49 billion as available fund for capital development projects. That the total estimated capital expenditure therefore stands at 56.49 billion. Also note that the total estimated revenue, that is, recurrent revenue and capital receipts, stands at 130.54 billion for the year 2021 and stands at, and the total estimated expenditure, that is revenue and capital, stands at 130.54 billion for the year 2020, making the 2021 draft budget a balanced budget. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, distinguished guests, gentlemen and ladies, it is my pleasure to now formally present this prestigious hallowed chamber the year 2021 draft budget estimate for deliberation. We request that you approve A, the total estimated revenue, that is recurrent and capital receipt, of 130.54 billion. B, approve the total estimated expenditure, both recurrent and capital, of 130.54 billion, and also approve a balanced budget of 130.54 billion. Let me begin to conclude by saying that our current situation as a nation should invite all of us as leaders to rethink the basic supposition of our relationship with the citizens. While leaders continue to carry on in the belief that they are doing their best, or that citizens should be glad for whatever they can get given the various challenges of leadership, the citizens are becoming increasingly frustrated with a polity that is no longer meeting their basic yearnings and aspirations. The truth is that leadership has a social contract with the led that is the most respect akin to marriage. It is not enough for one partner to believe that he or she is doing their best if the other wets their bed every night with tears and recriminations from an unending barrage of painful experiences and deprivation. Recent upheavals in the country, including the lamentable fallout of the NSAS protest, should tell us that our best intentions as leaders will continue to not if we do not immediately discover, magically, if there is no any other way to do it, how to resolve issues of human rights, internal security, food security, and economic empowerment. We have tried to craft a budget for next year, with which we will urgently begin to address these pressing existential issues at state level, while hoping that similar urgencies will be activated at all other levels across the country, so we are not unwitting victims consumed by the generalized disenchantment currently spreading across the land instead of any sin of our own. I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a peaceful, safe, secured, prosperous, and fulfilling New Year. God bless Kogi State. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I thank you all.